still haven't figured out this zoom thing on my high def camera webcam. Oh, never mind. Hold up. Ah, shucks.
Oh no.
Ah,
There you go.
checkmate.
Now you can just like start your tech conception thing with going like, and Scott Imrod, and then just zoom right in. Yeah.
This remote thing right here.
Nice. What did you end up getting?
I got a Nexigo 4K webcam.
Nexigo. Oh
Nexigo.
yeah.
Who is?
Nexigo. Yeah. Okay. Hmm. Nice.
I like playing with this remote.
Is it got like is it rotate too, or is it like a
oh,
or is it like a
oh,
static
shucks.
position?
It
Oh,
moves
it
side
does
to
rotate
side.
then. So it
Uh,
must be the 990 then. It's like a conference room one.
I don't see. I wouldn't say it rotates. It just does lateral
Oh, it
moves
does lateral moves. Okay.
and up,
Hmm.
down. Uh, I'm not going to mess with the one, two, three, but um,
There you go.
crap, I accidentally pressed two. Okay. Yeah, so I had like I think like 25 or 26 subscribers, and then we brought on Jamie Edwards for Tech Conception and it doubled to 49. Well, you know the math. It almost
Yeah.
doubled to 49.
In other words,
So
if you bring on like a new person every other week or something, you'll probably be up there in no time. You absorb part
I
of
was
their
honestly
audience.
thinking that. I'm like, who have I had on that I didn't piss off?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think Mark Siemens going to come back on. Uh, Scott Blashin I had on twice. I probably pissed him off. I'm not sure how
Why'd you piss
many
those guys off? I don't understand.
Mark Seaman, I think we had this conversation. I had him on, and I was wearing like a wife beater or something,
Oh, okay.
uh, and he was wearing a suit. So
Well, you don't know then. You're just conjecturing that you pissed him off.
I didn't know any better.
Hmm.
I told Odie it's his turn. I did my part, and I got stellar results. So he needs to do his part now. Meanwhile, he's the one that edits the videos and all that stuff. I'm more of a catalyst, man. I just give orders and then get pissed off if it doesn't go the way that I intended.
So you're like upper management now.
I applied for a manager job yesterday.
Really? Why? Management's like a totally different skill set.
It was a quick apply.
Oh,
It was no effort.
a click apply. Oh, on
Yeah,
LinkedIn, whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I like those click apply ones. I don't know why it's just not. I hate uploading resumes. It's just like the stupidest thing.
I want to merge 1800s, the 1800s era with IT. I have my slave whip, and I'll see someone that's
Jesus.
like on their cell phone and not on the keyboard. No, whoosh, whoosh. And I'll have my overseer that's like monitoring the developers, snitching on people.
Like you're a pharaoh or something.
Yeah, well, I would be
That's not
master.
1800s. That's way, way long time ago.
I would have my office Negro, just making sure that everything is being done. Like, can you imagine the merge if, like, let's say the Confederacy won, and what would the IT office look like? I'm willing to bet that they would still invest in slaves uh, being literate and being able to do tech. No,
Yeah. Maybe.
I mean they're going to get ideas and they're probably going to hack whatever systems
I
eventually.
believe though, even if the Confederacy had won, slavery wouldn't have been around for much longer, anyways.
Why
But
not?
um, I just think it would have like naturally people would have evolved out of it. Um, there would have been another war or some other thing.
Yeah, it would have to be another war in order for people have to die for change to for people have to die for significant change to occur, whether it's through old age or murder. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's yeah. I just think it would have been gone anyways, regardless. They did do somebody did a skit about what if the Confederacy won. Um,
see,
I think it was a movie, maybe.
Sean, see this?
Oh yeah, yeah.
This
Nice,
came in yesterday. I try to. I'm
nice lighting.
trying. I'm trying to do things more polished. It's going to take forever for it to happen. For me, for Scott Nimrod to have a professional production like video is going to probably take another 10 years because I drag my feet for everything. But that came in yesterday.
Nice, nice. Yeah, there's a movie called The Confederate States of America. It was a 2004 mockumentary about what if the Confederacy had won. And so like, yeah,
Uh,
CSA. But that 2004 would have been,
I think I've seen it.
yeah. You probably played the a doctor in it or something.
A
It's not
house
on your
Negro,
IMDb records.
the dark skinned house Negro. Yeah, I've been real talk. You ever feel like depression trying to set in, kind of like a cold,
Yeah,
and you're trying to push it back? So you're like, dude, let me hurry up and do a workout and try to get my mind focused on something more productive, or let me try to knock off a 2 mile run instead of a typical like 1.5. Like I've been feeling like that for like the past like 3 days, man. I think I'm okay, but I still feel like it's trying to insert itself into my life.
yeah,
You ever get like that?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was getting like that yesterday. I was feeling really good all start of the week, and then yesterday was like, just getting tired of certain things. Just like, and then I went for a walk, ate some food, and I was a
And
little bit better. But
almost bought a flight to Cleveland. Like I got so many things going. You would think you have so many things going on that you wouldn't entertain feeling down. That's not the case for me. I have so many things coming going on, and yet my mind still has capacity to try to feel sorry for itself. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. The mind's weird like that. But yeah, I go in dips and ups and downs all the time. It's annoying.
I'm
Did
trying
you get
to.
your Did you get your videos then, or is this your
This is his camera sucks.
the guy that you had record?
What's that?
The guy you had record? Like the
My co-founder that I terminated and then accepted again.
oh
Is the audio coming in?
no,
Uh,
but
uh, let's try it again. Hold up. How do I do this? Present, share. It says share audio tab. IDK. Oh, okay. Here we go. Share system audio. Oh, you hear it now?
yeah, yeah, I hear it now.
I told him yesterday, like, dude, you need to like get a camera. I shouldn't upload photos that are like one order of magnitude better than your photos and videos. We need consistency. And I try to do it without picking a fight, but I don't know how
Hmm.
to say things like, dude, you got to step it up, man. We're trying to do something commercial, not hood. Like, but I think he's stuck in the mindset of just get it done, and the results is he's getting transactions completed, and I'm really not, right? So
Hmm.
I understand that argument. It's just Yeah, there's differences between him and I.
Well, it's probably worth considering whether the differences are, you know, good or not. I guess if he's making the
I did. That's why I terminated him the first time.
hell, if he's making transactions though, and you're not, I mean,
Yeah.
I think I'd rather be around somebody who's making transactions than someone who's not. Like I think it would make sense to try to go and elevate as you go. Like it's fine to have some feedback to say, hey, we got to get you a better camera, or whatever, so we can have a better whatever.
I got some Asians finally. Of course, they were more gangster than anything,
Yeah.
but they were from California. Uh, yeah. So yesterday, let me do this. Yeah, we got people screaming Beach Mobile, which I must admit, from the declaration of I'm going to build a mobile delivery service to now having people on the beach, some of them hot, saying that they use Beach Mobile. I mean that is progress. So
Yeah. So how much is actually getting
take
used
that,
with Beach
depression.
Mobile? Yeah.
Uh,
Do
what do you
you
say?
need to? So how much of Beach Mobile is actually getting used now?
The wind is horrible on that one. I don't know if I should delete this one or not. I'm sorry. What was your question?
How much of Beach Mobile is actually getting used? Like the
None.
actual infrastructure or the equipment you
None.
purchased? Oh,
There's
the equipment you've purchased.
none. This is all his stuff.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
But you know, it's what's interesting is all this is. I wish I could. Well, no, we just saw the video earlier. So anywhere you see a pop up tent, you see a number of them, right? So
Wait, what?
you see all these pop up tents
Oh,
sprinkled.
yeah, the music was a little loud, so I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, that's probably an area of maybe 15 to 20 yards.
Hmm.
Okay, 15 to 20 yards for maybe approximately 5 hours yields about for a day like that like $1,000,
Yeah, yeah, I can imagine.
and that's in South Beach. So you take 20 yards of South Beach, in which South Beach is probably about mm, maybe about 4 miles, right? That's how much
Hmm.
potential is there, and this is manual, non-scaling effort. And so, like yesterday, while I was in my mood, and I'm like, yo, I gotta make something happen, and I started dwelling on T minus whatever days until April 7th, Y Combinator deadline. I gotta get my application up there. I gotta prepare for the questions that they're going to ask me, and one of the questions they're going to ask me is like, what what is the barrier for your competitors, right? Because it doesn't make sense for them to invest in a business that's easily duplicatable, if that's a word, for other people. I don't I don't have an answer for that. The other part is I've been I've been like menstruating on how do I scale this? I don't know how to scale this. No one's hitting the website. Rethinking Microsoft for future projects in regards to Azure support because things just keep breaking. And I'm sure 3/4 of it is my fault, but there's legitimately bugs in their systems. And for whatever reason, I'm the one that keeps finding them. So like me having the bandwidth to take another 12 months to learn AWS, that's a separate topic. But it's like, how do I scale this? How do I scale this? But if you look at Y Combinator articles and videos, what they keep on pushing is do
Do
things
things
that
that
don't
don't
scale.
scale. Yeah.
Exactly. And so I'm like, all right, fine. How do I document that? So yesterday I rode my motorcycle to South Beach and I just started capturing videos and photos of here's the faucet that's leaking. We have business trickling, right? We're doing things that don't scale. He's doing things that don't scale. Maybe that's enough for them to at least mentor and accept our application and emphasize that, yo, this is like 15, 20 yards of beach. And there's hella beach for miles and miles and miles of state and state and state, right? So
Yeah.
I'm still trying to build up a case. I feel like I'm probably going to have to go into lawyer mode and create a case and create artifact A, artifact B, exhibit A, exhibit B, and I'm probably going to just like when I do my taxes, I'm probably going to be like no one's going to be able to contact me probably for the next 72 hours as I try to get this application done.
You know what? I mean, honestly, if I were you, what I would consider doing is just you've built like a really good big prototype and stuff, and I don't know that it had the same. I mean, it had the goal of doing this, but at the same time, if you want to do things that don't scale, maybe throwing it out is the best option. Like all of the code base, saying screw that, I'm going to go back to simplest possible things I can do. Um,
No, the code
now,
works. I'm not throwing that out.
well, no. So this guy's making these things, right? So he gets somebody comes up to him and says, "Hey, I want a thing, right?" And he's got a set of things that are there, right?
Yep.
Um, so if you if at the time that he gives out or sells those things, if he says, "Hey, look, if you need anything else, I've got what I got here, but I can also get things for you," right?
Yeah,
And
I
he
had a
says, "Just
conversation with him yesterday. I told him that I don't.
well, I mean, I'm
This
talking
was
about
around
him to the
counter.
beachgoer, right? He's saying, I can get things for you."
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I advised them yesterday, dude. I got like 1,500, like uh, kind of like business card
Yeah,
flyers, right? Because they don't really have my contact information. They have Beach Mobile stuff. It has like 4 or 5 Beach Mobile offerings with the QR code to go to the website. When you put them in a pop up tent, give them that card that has the QR code and an example of the offerings, so that and have them hold their hand and walk them through the website or get them on their cell phone, have them bring up the website that shows all the other offerings, and that is the policy for putting them in a pop up tent. You put them in a pop up tent, and then you give them the card,
yeah.
and with the card you have them bring up the website. Because I mean, yesterday there was a group of girls. It may have been her asking for ice and bottled water, and we offer it, but we didn't have any on deck. He
Then
didn't
you,
have any on deck.
yeah, I mean, you probably should go and run and get it. It's the thing. Like that's where you call up Scott and he takes out his bike or his
Yeah.
SUV, grabs it, brings it.
Well, I mean, I
So then,
live 7 miles up the road, so I'm not. I was literally just pulling up on my motorcycle, checking up on the status of how
yeah,
everything is going that day, and I was telling him, dude, so you made like maybe $1,000 off of 20 off of like 15 to 20 yards of real estate. We need to multiply that by 4, right? So get some people to do what you're doing, give them 2 cabanas each, and anytime they fill a cabana, give them another one and monitor to minimize them doing side deals, so we can gauge how much money we're making. You multiply that by 4 for right now, and we'll just figure out how that's working, and we'll just manually just do that for right now. This is like my second time telling them this,
yeah.
but it's the money's there. It's
So
just
is he handing out the cards and stuff? Is that going on? Is he getting people to
no.
go?
I told him that yesterday.
Okay.
So
Because yeah,
he
that's
should
what
start he should start today.
because I think that's your in, right? Is they go to these vendors to get these things. You basically are like a more of like a man, you think about it, you're more like a logistics operation to bring goods that are maybe not just you don't want to keep on the beach or stuff like perishables to these places as quick as possible, right? Based up where he is there a place that you could make runs to that to get things like ice and that's really quick? That's another question,
Yeah,
right?
well that would be the carrier that we need to establish.
Well, you be the carrier for now. Fuck it. You can spend
Okay,
some
well,
time doing
all
it.
right. Well, me being the carrier would likely be me driving my SUV that has supplies in it and parking it somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. But
So,
then, try to get some people, and I would try to get I mean, maybe you try to get the actual app out there, or, um, I mean, if you wanted to forego the whole, like, wanted to forego the whole thing, you could invest in building your app out as a web app, but a progressive web app where you can actually install it on someone's phone without having to go through the app store and all that shit.
it is a progressive web app.
Oh, it is. So
Yeah.
you can install your from your website.
The website, well, maybe we're not saying the same thing. The website has progressive response or whatever you call that thing.
No,
It,
no, no. That's different. I'm talking about a progressive website. So if you go to like I think Starbucks on your phone. Um, Gosh, I feel like I'm talking with an accent lately. It's weird. But if you go to Starbucks on your phone, and you start to interact with their site, it'll ask you to download their site, like download it as an app, but not through the App Store. It'll
oh,
actually have
okay.
you install. So progressive web apps is kind of a way to like bring websites to be more have like more presence on your phone.
Got it. Nah.
Yeah,
Uh, I don't, that's not supported. I got two YouTube channels, Beach Mobile and Beach Mobile Social. Here's the banner.
yeah,
Here's
yeah.
here's
So you've got, I
the
think you've got
website.
enough of the social proof stuff out there now. You just need to start getting
Well,
that feedback cycle going. And
I'm
I would have
waiting.
taken the fact that you guys couldn't deliver ice to that person as a pretty big feedback loop cycle. Like, oh, ice isn't wanted. I need to I need to I need to figure out how to get that to happen. You know,
Yeah,
do you set up near like convenience stores where you could literally zip back and forth, those kinds of things?
yeah. There's a CVS where he's at.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I got a freezer. I got like 40 pounds of ice in my freezer right now. I got the bags, everything. Yeah,
yeah.
that's good feedback. What was the other thing I was gonna
And do you
say?
need
No,
like a
no.
truck eventually with some like freezers in it and all this shit, like a big van, like a big old or an RV, RV or something where you can just be mobile with it and
Well, I got an
keep it
ice
running.
maker, but it's not. The ice maker only yields about 10 pounds of ice per maybe in like 12 hours, and that was for about $130. The $300 one should probably yield about 10 pounds of ice and maybe a couple hours, maybe. Um, yeah, I, I mean, I think this is the trickle. I just got to figure out how to turn it into a faucet.
Yeah. Well, the trickle is the time where you learn, right? They're that's the whole do things that don't scale thing because rarely if you do something that scales is your first envisionment of how this is going to play out. And I'm just parroting every single like of all of these entrepreneurial um, podcasts and interviews and books that I've read about this stuff. Obviously, in practice, I've never done it, but I mean, you read the Lean Startup or any of these, this is the kind of stuff that they talk about, right?
Yeah,
It's you do stuff that doesn't scale, especially the Y Combinator guys.
yeah. Something needs to happen, dude, or else I gotta be gainfully employed again, which is unfortunate.
Win the
Yeah,
lottery,
you
man.
know what's interesting, man, is a Pakistani built this banner.
No.
It boggles my mind that the media convinces me that they're like 2 decades behind us in regards to like technology and innovation, and yet like I like this banner. I mean, we had to do like about 4 revisions, but this is like the second. Hold up, I got a dude in Bangladesh. So I had the people that developed the website were in Bangladesh. Another dude that did where's my another dude that does my graphic design like this flyer right here.
Hmm.
He's in he's in Pakistan. Yeah, I would never imagine someone that creates this with a hot, I don't know, black model chick, South Beach, lives in Pakistan, right? Um, and then the dude that just did the YouTube uh, assets or visual assets, he's in Pakistan. Like I'm hiring, I don't know what the politically correct term is. Is that's still considered Middle East, right? Well, I know Pakistan's Middle
Pakistan's,
East.
yeah,
Yeah. So I
or
don't know. The
yeah,
media just
East
does a
or
good job
West
trying to
Asia.
convince you that I'm upset. I don't know how to turn off the social programming that's not helping me or my business because I'm finding out that these people, I say these people, um, the media tries to program you to believing that if you're not a Asian country or a or a white country, and I still don't consider India Asian, right? I don't.
They are though. They're
I
yeah,
think
but
of
I know what
Asian,
you
I
mean.
think of like slanted eyes, like
Yeah,
I
you're
do.
thinking of yeah, East Asian. Yeah.
But the media like programs you into believing that anything that is going to be leading and of high quality and first world results is going to be a white country or a Asian country. And it's like I'm learning like no, I was fed ignorance and now I have to like try to weed all that ignorance out my mind. Because it's not I'm hiring people from third world countries and they're delivering better results than interns in Atlanta or New York City. So
Well, yeah, they should be because it's a get what you pay for type thing, right?
I paid $15 for this.
Yeah, yeah. And does it go? Does that go a lot more than somebody living in New York? Probably.
Yeah, I mean, my first quote was $55, but that's from someone that I keep using. So he's trying to
Yeah,
like say he knows what my pockets are looking like, so he's trying to take care of himself. I'm like, I
yeah.
don't think this costs $15, dude. I mean, I don't think
Uh,
this costs $55, dude.
is it? Is it? So is this a zoomed in picture? Because
No.
like I okay, because I look at it and I'm like, there's things I hate about. I hate about the banner, but
I like
um,
it.
like I the
I
um.
mean, there's some
I'm not
like
gonna go into it. I don't want you to. You like it. I'm not gonna try to like ruin it for you.
no. I mean, one is okay. So I like it. There's some things that look like, and you said the same thing about my logo. Like it looks like it's being pulled. Like there's some scaling like
Yeah,
questions, but that doesn't bother me. It doesn't. To me, this still looks professional. It does to me. So
yeah. I mean, it
you're like
it's,
dot dot dot.
yeah. It's got the it's got the air of like I'm not. Yeah, I'm not gonna ruin it for you. It's like I don't know. There's things like I look at it and I go, God, I hate about if I'm actually sitting here studying it, like the kerning between the deliver and two. There's just way too much white space between there,
Oh, I mean, now that you
and
mention it, yeah, I see it.
um, lack of padding with at the bottom with
Okay, I hear
stuff
you. I
like
hear you.
that. Um, I guess the choice of certain like font choices. Um, like having some of those be, I think those are serif fonts on the bottom, possibly. Like stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So this one, now that you mention it, and I saw this earlier, and then my mind stopped paying attention to it. So I guess it saw it enough that it forgot about it.
Yeah, the embossing too on the mobile is is trips me up. About the only, and then it has the overall feel of like a sign that you would see on like a either an Indian or a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's my take on it, man. There's not enough padding on the phone number too. Um, I mean,
Yeah.
at least it's visible. It gets everything out there though, so everything is fine. Otherwise, it's also not consistent with other your branding on your
Yeah.
actual site.
I picked up
So
on that.
yeah,
Um.
you're like the yellow is not a yellow. It's not the same yellow. I believe you have a yellow on your site,
Uh.
but
Yeah.
I'm just being a yeah. Now I'm just being
You're
picky,
being
man.
fresh eyes.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that it's not good. It's better than having like your
It's better than what I would create.
yeah. Actually, maybe the yellow is the same. It's
It's not, but the so far the biggest thing that jumps out that you highlighted that I saw the first time, but then my eyes just got used to it was the spacing
yeah.
between delivered and then two. So
I guess that's called chemming, right? You're
no, I never
well,
heard that term.
chemming. So if you look up kerning, which is the space between characters, when you have bad kerning, it's called chemming because kerning, the word would look like chemming with bad spacing
I mean, in theory, I could fix that myself though.
because the R and the N kind of yeah yeah. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Let me turn
the
off my screen so
volleyball
we can
looks like
stop ripping
a
apart.
the volleyball too looks like a kid's like it's skewed funny and it looks like a kid's volleyball from like one of those like Saturday or like the cartoons, the like bad 3D cartoons that kids watch.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I mean, I, you ripped it apart. I still like it,
It's
with the
still good, man.
exception of what you brought attention to. Um,
It's
and
fine.
I noticed that there's not really margins on the bottom part. Of
Yeah,
it's a $15 thing, so I'm
dude.
not really
Yeah,
tripping over it.
it's fine.
Yeah.
You're fine. I'm not. Like I said, I didn't want to ruin your perspective on it because you like it, but
Now you're sending me deeper into my depression.
no, man. I would. I don't know. I think. I don't know. That's the stuff you got with the people coming through is really cool. But it would be really cool. I think your plan of getting those people to go to the website um, and having them take the cards with the things and then saying, hey, you don't have to come back to me, walk over here. You use the app as the communication device, right? Because what you're doing then is taking the fact that I want to be lazy on the beach. I don't want to walk up to this guy over here and do something. Hey, if I can just be like on my phone, fill out my thing and be like, oh yeah, bring me this, and I'm willing to pay for you to go get it for me or whatever. I think that's a really solid deal. The big thing is like how accurate could you get the GPS on the thing in terms of um, phone tech? Where if you did have this like if you're dealing with clusters of sales areas rather than like just broad based, could you like a guy know when he receives in when you receive in a request that it came from that specific person that is right in that tent versus this tent? I suppose
Mm,
it's within three feet or something like that with GPS.
yeah, but I mean,
3 meters or something.
whenever I take Uber, one is I feel like the tracking is like maybe 3 seconds delayed from what I see on my phone versus the
Yeah.
car that's pulling up. Um, and and on my phone, I don't think it's ever captured me like within 3 meters of something. It's usually like the general vicinity of probably within like 20 feet of something or whatever. Um, I don't think it's an issue. It's because it's by phone. You can, and they're waiting for a delivery. You can just message them or call them, and then they find you.
Yeah.
And then if you want to have a policy of confirming that it's them and not somebody else, then you can have a PIN code or you could have a QR code that you scan from their phone. Hopefully their phone doesn't die.
Yeah. I mean, another thing you could do possibly is just um, think of it as like a so he's got stuff that he's got there, right? Um, and if the idea is we can get
He
you,
ran out of inventory, and so I didn't mean to cut you off, but he ran
yeah.
out of inventory, and I'm like, why did you run out of inventory?
Well,
Like
that's a
you're
that's a
no no
problem,
no
and
no no
that's
no
something
no
you
no
can
no.
solve.
He has a lot of he has a lot of inventory. He just ran out of inventory that he brought with him.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is maybe you need to think about yourself as the logistical backing end to these operations, rather than thinking of yourself as like, you know, the front end of it. It's like, hey, basically they're limited by what they can have on them
No, he's
at the edge,
not.
right?
He's not.
So how does he backfill
'Cause-
then? He ran out
all
of
right, so
inventory. That's a
he
problem. That can
it
be
is a problem
solved.
because we just left money on the table,
Yeah,
right?
that's a
And
problem can be
so
solved. You have a
and
problem that you can solve now.
yeah, so he was like, I carry two wagons from my home to the beach. I'm like, so like, why don't you drive and park and have twice as many pop up tents?
Or
And
you say,
I mean, we get tunnel vision. I get tunnel vision. He gets tunnel vision.
no, dude, every problem that you can encounter, every time you're frustrated about something or you see like that, that's an opportunity, right? That's a problem that you can look at. So how about you say this, say, next time you run out of inventory, what you do is you give me a ring and or you basically call me as your back office. I go get the inventory and now we split, you give me 10% of every transaction that day. Um, Off of what I backfill for you because I'm doing the logistical work now of bringing you more things that allow you to do this. Now, the
Yeah.
question is, how did you get them home? Maybe that's part of your deal too. Is if I have to bring you stuff, I'll come help you bring it back too. Or maybe why do you have to bring it from your apartment? Maybe I just store all your shit in the future in my logistical area and I deliver it to you. You don't even have to concern yourself with that. I do pickups and drop offs every day. Like I
Yeah,
said,
that's
you
the
could
thought.
think of yourself as the logistical back end to maximize the capabilities of these people who are willing to just work the beach and do the that kind of stuff as front people. Think of yourself as like the Walmart distribution center to their Walmart. Like Walmart distribution center is what enables all the money to be made for the most part, but it's
Or
not
he could
needed
just,
without Walmart.
or he could just bring his car.
But that's what you're doing. You're doing carriers. You're doing delivery, man. That's it should be in your wheelhouse. And then you have an
Yeah, I
into
mean,
the transactions.
I should feel the pain of it. So I think you're
Yeah.
right.
And but then you feel the but you have an into their transactions in, right? Beyond just like uh referral fees. Be like, hey, no, if you run out of inventory, what we do is thing, and this because you'd scale this across other people who are doing this work, right? Is that we'll go to your cache and bring you more and then we'll also handle the logistics bring them back. Now, that would then that's a new problem for you to solve. Like, okay, how do I make sure that I've got the ability to go bring this stuff back and forth, with it? Um, I don't know. There's opportunities in every problem you find though, but that's why you need this feedback cycle. Is every problem you come into, think of it as an opportunity and be like, how could I capitalize on this or make this more efficient? Versus saying like, hey, you do this. Well, maybe he doesn't has another reason not to do that. He doesn't want to leave his stuff there. He wants to keep on the beach talking to people. He's got other things to sell. He just doesn't have these things. um, but also like you could also have him there with like a at his shop be like, hey, I've got all these other things, I just don't have them with me. if you want it, give them like a have like a you could have like an iPad there. They could just surf. So if they don't have their phones on them, oh yeah, take this, 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 and this. All right, we'll have it here in 15 minutes. Go enjoy your time. Just let me know where you are or something like that. Um, so I don't know. I just thinking through there. Like, I think like this relationship you built with the person on the beach, like there's a lot of opportunities there that are probably just even be outside of just expanding their business without thinking about the whole carrier, trying to bring in like random carrier people to do stuff, if that makes sense. But
Yeah, for
yeah,
things that don't scale.
yeah. But if you can get your, or if you could hire someone to do it that you trust or whatever to do the carrier stuff and going the back and forth, you can get that to run smoothly for you as a system. That's when you take what works for you as a system and say, okay, now I could bring on one, two, three other people who are willing to do this as independent operators, and they set up as the back end of one of these shops. So instead of having just because it sounds like the problem is you've got this person who's here who's a node at the beach, and they're doing the upfront transactions with everyone on the beach. They've got a limited supply of upfront inventory here, and they can run out of that inventory. It's a problem. They might not have something that somebody wants. Um, there's things like chargers that if they use them, they need to be recharged or whatever. So they have to have a cycling supply. Um, there's all that kind of stuff that goes on. The cash transactions versus possibly like electronic transactions. Um, but then you could have like you could basically say we augment your business where you use our software and you take on a partner who is your courier. Um, and instead of saying we just find random couriers, it's like no, you bring on a partner who does this backing work for you, and they are the logistical hub. And then you could look at things like how do I build out inventories? How do I use the data that I'm collecting to make sure that we have all of the equipment that people want when they want it, meeting their demands and stuff like that, which maximizes their revenue, maximizes the courier as a more fixed thing, and then your revenue. So I don't know. Sounds a lot more like it could very, very much work. And so I wouldn't be at all like depressed about it, man. You're right there at the cusp of finding things. I think just you need to change your attitude about
A lot of
like,
things.
hey, go
Everything.
and you need to do better at this. Be like, that's an opportunity for me to get this to be a better situation. Like, and then you can tap into revenues. It's opportunities. All of it is.
Yeah, I mean,
It,
I try to always remind myself that every event I should try to convert into my personal opportunity.
yeah,
So,
yeah. So
yeah, let me know when you're going to move to South Beach. It seems like you have most of the answers.
I don't have answers. I'm just saying, like, I think you could look at these. I think you could look at these problems that you're seeing and think of them as those are the real things I need to solve because that's the problems people are having. And like identifying problems that people really have is half the battle, I think, of trying to find a new enterprise. Which is the thing. That's that I don't talk to people. I don't have problems to solve. So
I'm expecting. I really hope that this company notifies me that the photos and the commercial is completed today, so I can upload that.
yeah, it'll be good. Let me know if it does. I could watch it. Hi, Gambler. Caught the last
Hey, Gamlor,
Gene.
how's your workbench? I forget
Yeah,
what your
no, that's
project
not.
is.
No, I had some good stuff this week though. I did hit the gym, I think 3 times. Did some lifting and running it too. Try to make it out for more walks. Get a little bit more consistent on diet. So I've been making some strides and just feeling better about things. If I didn't have to go to work, man, I'd be probably feeling great all the time. Um,
So
but yeah,
apparently, this light has a dimmer on it. This photo light.
Yeah, yeah, for sure they all do. Yeah.
I didn't know. Oh, you got a light?
Well, I don't have a nice one like you. I've got like a. Actually, I wonder if this even.
A lamp? Oh,
I had
office
one
lamp?
with. I got one of these where it's like
Oh,
it
okay.
was you could put your phone on it. I was gonna try some things
Yeah,
with
this one
using it,
has a mount
but
for a phone too.
yeah, yeah. Although having a boom, like you can just use like a boom mic type thing and get a phone mount for that, a mic boom, and then you can do a lot with it versus these like whatever. So
All right. So I talked about Beach Mobile, talked about YouTube channel, talked about logistics, talked about commercial and photos are supposed to be completed today. Uh, I'm trying to push back a depression that's trying to onset, just like I try to push back a cold. Uh, April 7th is coming.
oh, tax day,
Mm, huh?
tax day,
No, well. When is
or is
when is when's the
April
deadline for
7th the
taxes?
Y Combinator thing?
Yeah, when's the
April
deadline for
15th,
taxes?
April 15th, isn't it? Tax day.
Man, I need crypto to like surge so I could scrape up some money to pay my taxes.
Bitcoin was going up a bit this last week, but
Well, I've been looking at it like 5 times a day.
yeah,
I mean, you say go up, but it's at like 28,000.
yeah, but
I bought in
still,
at 35,000.
yeah, yeah. I think
Then
that's
I
where I
bought in
was
again
at
at
too.
45,000.
Yeah,
And
yeah. It'd be nice to see
Ethereum
it go
too.
up to go up again.
Yeah, at least I mean, if it could get back to 35,000, at least I could break even and use that money breaking even to pay my taxes.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be homeless after I write a check to the IRS. So I'm gonna have to sell my body. Anyways,
Or you're gonna have to set up a really nifty thing where you funnel all your money through Ireland and you become an Irish national or something. The Irish Dutch sandwich or whatever they
it
call it.
used to be the Swiss bank accounts that the IRS shut down, right? Back in the day, everybody had a Swiss bank account that were
Yeah, I don't
funneled
know.
or laundering money.
Yeah, or you don't pay yourself out. Start a C corp and put all your money into the business and then hold it, and
I have a C corp.
then you just take out loans against your C corp, so you never pay taxes because you're never getting a salary.
Is that what they do?
In some ways, but then you still well you do still have to have a salary, but it could be less than what you're like you would pay yourself otherwise. So if you're going to pay yourself out $100,000, you say no, I'm only going to pay myself out 60, keep 40 in the business or whatever in their investments where it's kind of like operating in a tax free type thing, and you don't pay income tax on it because you don't pay taxes on loans. But then you have to find good interest rates and pay them off fast enough. But you use your money in your business as your collateral to get the loan.
Everybody should have a C corp if they decide that they're going to get married. A prenup and a C corp.
Yeah. Sorry, honey, my all my money's in the C corp, but you don't own. All the prenup says is that you get no part of my business.
I mean, you still got to get lawyers involved. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, you gotta be have it airtight, I suppose. Although I don't know. I'm not in that racket of getting married and divorced and married and divorced
that's
and needing it.
good.
And I'm not in a racket of having enough money where anyone would care.
I was watching Simple Programmer. He has a really good production quality video. I knew something was up with. I'm not trying to gossip. I'm not, my intent is not to gossip, but like I knew something was up with his marriage based on the type of content that he kept on producing,
Yeah.
and he stopped talking about his like wife and kid. So I knew something was up, right? And then he produced a video maybe a month ago that's like 30 minutes about what he was going through and what happened. It was it was interesting. I'm not sure if he really needed to share all those details with the public, but it
Yeah.
was. I don't know if you watched any of his videos recently. It's
I
still
I
it's still the
yeah.
same content,
I
but
think I've seen that. But I was seeing it on his beast. What is it? Bulldog. What is
bulldog
it?
mindset.
Yeah. But I noticed in there that he started having a new girl on, and he never had his wife or kid actually involved with the show. So maybe they never wanted to be. But
He had them. Um, he he had them. Of course, I don't really watch the videos, I listen to it when I'm working out or driving. And so I
mhm.
remember several years ago he had his wife on the. I don't know if it was a podcast or a video, but I think he had his kid on there a couple times.
Mm.
I wonder
Have
how
you
much.
looked at Copilot X at all? I guess it was just
No, I can't keep
noticed
up.
recently.
Where's all this AI proliferation now? What's
It's like
Copilot X do?
you can like chat with Copilot in your code, so you can like select stuff and be like, "Hey, explain what this does to me," or "Okay, thank you. Write some unit tests for that. Thank you." like, which I think it's pretty stupid if you can ask a thing to like
Well,
write unit tests around a chunk of code. It's like, should those unit tests even exist?
I think they integrated Copilot with Microsoft Office, and so
Yeah,
you give conversational commands, and then your Excel spreadsheet gets updated, and colors start going back and forth.
yeah. We've gone into the realm of like you don't need to do what you need to do. You just need to know how to like describe what you want done.
I'm curious how tech recruiters are going to butcher these tools. Like, oh, he failed the interview. Why? Because it didn't match the GPT response, and they still don't know what. Like they ask questions that they don't understand.
Yeah, yeah. I
This
get
is going to
anxiety.
be a
I get a
huge
little bit
disruptor.
anxious thinking about like AI taking over the software space. Once you can get it into a full cycle where you could just start describing an architecture and like a business goal to something, and then it could make entire like it would take. It's still a ways off, but it's not inconceivable to think like you could be like, I want you to produce a system that does this, and then like it just goes out and does it and makes it, and then you test it a little bit, and then you're like, okay, no, make it do this as the rule, and it just augments and redeploys everything. So once you give it like control over the whole ecosystem of development, it can just iterate through things like a genetic algorithm or something and try to find the best solution to what you're doing. And then you just like, all right, now I've got Beach Mobile. Like all I did was describe it long enough, and I could build software systems. And
Yeah,
it's like,
but
well, software development's dead.
so the question is, how much bad code is out there versus high quality code for it to feed off of for its data model?
Well, yeah, but it can. I mean, it learns, so it can identify bad code models, just like
Learn
we
what?
learn.
No, 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 no. You can learn how to do things right, or you can learn how to do things sustainably wrong.
Yeah. Well, what is right is
Senior
what.
senior developers at your typical
Yeah.
enterprise XYZ corporation, they learn to be senior developers of doing things that are not
By doing a bunch of stuff that's
sustainable.
wrong first,
Yeah,
but they get it's the feedback. It's all about feeds. Learning is all about feedback cycle, right?
not if your culture doesn't like support that. If your culture doesn't support
Well, I'm
the
sure, pretty
truth,
sure co-pilots will, or like AI's culture will deal with feedback
no.
loops.
But my argument is it needs data to be able to learn and execute.
Yeah, but
And if the
the thing
majority of
is,
that data is buggy code that doesn't take into consideration certain cross-cutting concerns that are not production ready, then it's going to repeat the same thing that you and I repeat. We all inject things that we haven't learned yet that we wish we could go back and correct, but we don't
yeah,
have time.
but that's the thing is that it can produce code, and then it can say, "Is this good?" And then
It
the
doesn't
data it's
know.
getting is whether it's good or not. But does it solve the problem, right? Which is all you really need to do with coding. Like the only reason why writing the actual act of writing code is important is that you can give it to somebody else. Otherwise, it's and that they can then help solve future problems. If you didn't have to have that step in the middle, you don't need good code. You don't need good code in terms of like, um, look,
I'm a,
you need something that solves a problem and does it in a way that's not broken.
I'm concerned about the following. I'm concerned that GPT is going to be like me. It's going to it's going to believe it's going to somehow be self-aware, believe that it's also a developer at corporation XYZ. And you know what I do? I look at like a developer's code and I'm like, yeah, that's effed up. Let me roll up my sleeves. Hold my mug.
Yeah, rewrites it all.
Ah,
Bloop. Yeah, solves
and
all.
I'm concerned. I'm concerned that ChatGPT is like Scott Nimrod's code is trash. Let me refactor it. Check in. And I'm like,
It's gonna convert all of your in special indents to like
why did you
properly
convert my F
formatted code.
sharp to TypeScript? Like, oh no.
No, dude, I do see a world where if you keep going on this trajectory that right now you're taking humans and then saying augment my code. In the future, if you could just describe the problem that you want solved, it goes and writes code and then it asks you for feedback on whether it solved your problem and you just go through that iteration loop. It'll start as like a small thing, like it'll
Yeah,
start as like
but
a
how do you
small
maintain
console
that?
application, right? It'll be like build me a whole console application that does X. And then it'll keep doing that. And then it'll be like build me a web application that does this, boom. Then build
It's
me a system that does this, boom.
it won't happen for another 20 years. You want to know
Oh,
why?
it's going so fast,
No,
so
no,
it'll
no,
go
no, no,
real
no, 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 no,
fast.
no, 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 no. It would have to understand the domain language of the system in order to maintain it.
But it
Period.
can understand that infinitely better than us because we have to learn domains.
It
So
doesn't understand a domain. It just
yeah, it
understands.
can. It
No, it
understands
doesn't.
accounting principles. Like
It
if you
doesn't know
ask it
accounting
accounting
principles.
principles,
No, it
we're
just
training it to understand
it,
accounting
reg-
principles. It
it
can build an accounting
regurgitates
system.
it regurgitates synonyms and what it sees on the internet. It doesn't know.
Well,
It doesn't
it
have a
knows through
brain.
proof, through brain and through feedback. Yes, it is a brain. It. That's how language models work. It's learning in the same way that we learn things, and it's just a matter of time before it becomes so powerful it does put. I mean, but the thing is, you still need probably software people to provide certain systems.
At your
But eventually, it'll
I'm
write its own
disagreeing with you.
programming language that's better than our programming languages. It'll write like it's just gonna keep evolving, right?
Okay, okay. So at your job, right? You guys build probably a number of systems, right? And these systems plug into each other. So these systems are really components, and they
Hmm.
plug into each other, and it makes a system, right? And you guys probably have certain acronyms and certain names of these systems, certain names of services. If ChatGPT relies on a massive amount of data in order for it to make informed decisions, does your company have massive amount of data so that GPT understands the domain language of what needs to be built?
It may not when it starts, but that's the thing is it's conversational, right? And it would say, okay, I've observed that this thing 3-letter acronym gets used. What does that stand for? And then it can make associations based on what you tell it what it is. Um, I don't know. What's a 3-letter acronym that gets used? OMS. Oh, what does OMS stand for? Oh, that's our order management system. Okay, now I've got a whole collection of knowledge about what goes into an order management system that I can tie to this because now I know what you're talking about. There's very few new things under the sun. GPT does get certain things wrong, but it's getting better, obviously, um, and it's just a matter of time before it's really good. And then, like I said, I do see a world where if you start to plug in tools built on top of it, to produce iterations and iterate over whole systems, that it could replace us. Um, and then what do
Okay.
we do? You got all,
There's new
yeah,
jobs created, and the people that don't want to evolve, they just
AI
complain
groomers.
to
Yeah,
CNN about how they still want to drive trucks and do things that are manual, and they just get left behind.
yeah,
Like
yeah, for sure.
I still, I would have never conceived that cashiers would be deprecated. Like I go to the grocery store,
Hmm.
I go to the convenience store like CVS, and like they're trying to force me to use the machine. And customer service is now like how you interface with the human being. But if you want to buy milk, toothpaste, dental floss,
Yeah, self checkout. You only
yeah,
go to a
I
cashier when they
hate
have
it.
big baskets, but
Yeah,
they have lines
I
for
hate
that
it
now too. So
because now I'm forced to think. I always have to put my thing on the. They don't
I
have
prefer
enough
self
room for my
checkouts,
purchase.
man.
Yeah, if you
But
have one
then
or
you'll
two
get
items.
then you'll get like but then there'll be some competition for people who don't like that kind of stuff where they'll be like, "Oh, we give you pay more, but the you get these old fashioned
Go
things."
to a drugstore in which you have a a big bulk of 24 toilet paper rolls, dishwashing a huge bottle of dishwashing liquid, and realize how much space you no longer have and how you still have to put it on the thing for it to be weighed so that it knows that you're not stealing from them.
Yeah.
Like that's
Well,
the
Walmart
part,
doesn't
man.
do that. They started with that weighing stuff. They don't really even do that anymore.
Okay.
Walmart doesn't. I know that like other ones still do the weight thing, but yeah, because it's checking to see if there's something inside of something. But loss prevention's another trick. But Walmart uses cameras and all sorts of stuff to make sure that you're being like you didn't fake scan something or whatever, or that it's a different item.
That's monitored by humans, not a program. Do you really think that Walmart hires? This is a. I'm not accusing you.
Yeah, they
I,
do
d-
things that don't scale.
I doubt that Walmart is hiring the same type of personnel that the MGM casino hires for their surveillance.
Yeah, yeah.
So else that would be really interesting if they hired the casino industry's surveillance personnel to monitor.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be interested to see in their like high tech, what their high tech um, loss prevention type stuff is going down.
Yeah.
But man, I
This
don't
is burned like 500 calories. This meeting.
know. What? Why?
So now, like, when I say 500 calories, I'm talking about in my brain. Like, I just burn a lot of calories in my brain when I go deep into thought about something, and I
Oh,
just
I
become
see.
mentally exhausted. But any plans this weekend?
I don't know. My wife bought me a 3D printer for my birthday, and we just put it together last night. Finally, like a month later,
Is that for you or for your kids?
for me, but it's pretty much going to be for my kids, I'm sure.
Uh,
But so I'm gonna try to play with that, and then I don't know. I might do some stuff, but I don't know.
you should create some Legos, which is probably really hard to do.
Yeah. Well, I think the precision on those is pretty high in terms of how they mold them. I don't know if I'm assuming that well, there is 3D printing that can create Lego things, but I don't know
Is
like
it
to
based
what.
off of computer numeric controls or a completely different?
This one is yeah, it's this one uses the what is it? It's additive where it's just running on the two axis like a CNC machine would do, but it's just printing it like this. Because there are ones where like it'll take like layers
X,
of
Y, and Z, or
yeah.
is just two? I used to be a machinist. I used to be a lot of things, man. I don't know how. I used to write C++. I have no clue how.
I haven't written much C in a long time. I should go back and write some C. That'll be it. Programming will one day just be a recreational thing. Like people do it for fun to like remember the old days. It'll be
I was surfing the internet trying to find the video game Bad Dudes and see if I could play it on my PlayStation 5. And I wasn't able to find it. I don't know if you remember
bad
Nintendo.
dudes.
I don't know if you
Oh,
remember the Nintendo game Bad Dudes. It was my favorite.
bad dudes.
Yeah.
NES on the NES. Yeah,
Yep.
you wouldn't be able to find. You could probably find it on a Nintendo Switch maybe, but Johnny Turbo's Bad Dudes versus Dragon Ninja.
No, that came up in the search results. I have no clue what Dragon Ninja is.
Bad Dudes. No, I've never
No,
heard of Bad Dudes
that
before.
was my favorite game.
Bad Dudes.
They would just walk through the street beating up people with their black wife beaters.
Yeah, I see that now. Oh, it's on. What is this? Of 8 releases, released in 1988. The U.S. president's been kidnapped by ninjas. This game dares to ask the question: Are you bad enough, dude, to rescue the president? Oh, it looks like it was released for. Oh, it was released for a bunch of different things, but not for the. It's on Amazon Luna, I guess, maybe.
What's Luna? Amazon has their own game station,
But yeah,
game
I don't think it's
console.
very popular, but it's on
That,
PC, uh,
I don't play PC.
NES, yeah, Commodore, ZX Spectrum, Apple II, Zebo, whatever that is.
What about TurboGrafx 16?
No, no
What about
TurboGrafx 16.
Jaguar?
No. Were you a Atari Jaguar fan?
No, but I remember going to the video game store and playing. I think it was like Aliens vs Predator,
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. My
and
brother-in-law had one in his shop, and he was playing Aliens vs Predator on it.
it looked cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
I wonder why they didn't succeed. Same thing with Neo Geo. Well, Neo Geo was just too expensive. I like the name though. Neo Geo was $600 in like I think it was like the early '90s, which
Yeah,
probably is
well,
like I don't know. This sounds like it was probably like $1,000 or $1,500 today.
yeah, well, like look at like early computers. I don't know how anyone ever bought them. Like they're so expensive. Like I don't know what was the cost of like a PC in like 1989 or something like that. Thousands of dollars.
I
So
I don't remember them being. I thought I remember PCs being like $2,000. If you still want a high end PC, it's still for me $2,000 with emphasis on PC.
okay, so computer prices in the 80s were very expensive, ranged from 1,500 to 2,000 or $20,000.
Oh,
Yeah.
20,000.
Starting in 1985, they started to lower to like 750 to 1,200 bucks. In the 90s, it was 1,000 to 2,000. Yeah, I think that they've kind of. There was a time where they were really expensive prior to like the boom of the PC boom in the late 80s or whatever.
You know what's crazy? And this is about to well, not like I'm monetized. I only have one viewer. Is I remember in the early '90s, I had a friend. They had a PC, and I think this was the first time PCs had porn on it because we would play this we would play strip poker. I mean I wouldn't play with my
Okay,
friend.
all right, sure. Yeah,
But there's a
yeah,
game
right.
called Strip Poker, in which they have models that like would take off an article of clothing until they got butt naked. And I remember that from like the early '90s. playing on his PC that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I always wonder why that joystick was sticky. Anyways.
Oh no. That's where it
And
ends.
that's the end of the broadcast.
Yep. I gotta run anyways. Get some more coffee before work
Yeah,
starts
all
here.
right. See
So,
ya. See
all
you
right.
again,
See ya. Have
boy.
a good week.
Bye.
Yep. Bye.
See ya. He left fast. Adios. Bye.